You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. In today's episode, we'll talk about DeMar DeRozan, his performance in the Drew League. We'll also talk about Dalen Terry showing out in Jordan Crawford's Crossover Pro-Am. Jordan, I did say Jordan, didn't I? Jamal Crawford. Oh, Lord, not Jordan Crawford. That guy sucked. Oh, and then lastly, we'll talk about the 2-year anniversary of Jim Boylan being fired. We'll get into all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Locked On Bulls, a member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. And we should be back to being your first listen of the day because we are back to posting early in the morning. But nonetheless, that is Pat, the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central. Pat, DeMar, he's been playing basketball all summer, bro. Looking great. I don't know if you saw the videos, the 3 blocks in a row. It was really a steal in 2 blocks, but they said 3 blocks in a row. It's still in 2 blocks. Balling out down in the Drew League like he has been, showing up big time in a playoff game, which I didn't even know the Drew League had playoffs before today. But hey, what do you think about DeMar DeRozan, his summer, and him continually showing out in the Drew League?
Bring that defense to the season. I need that defense in season.
He was playing against somebody who looked like they was like 5'10", too.
So what? Hey, listen, he didn't have that defense against Buddy down in New Orleans. What's his name? Mr. Can he shoot? Yes, I can shoot.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, what was his name? I
don't know. It don't matter. He irrelevant. Yeah. Mud started figuring out that he just be hiding behind people to steal the ball. Like, Chris Paul was like, get your dumb. I mean, listen, it's fun, right? This is how players used to play. This is how I keep seeing Bulls, or not really Bulls fans, but just fans of different teams in general, right? Talking about, man, they playing so much in the offseason. I want to see them getting this rest. I want to see, this is how players play. So I love seeing DeMar go out here and do this. I love that it's so heavily publicized. And the thing that I love most is that he's bringing people along with him that are his teammates, and they're going out there and showing out as well. But I mean, you watch DeMar's game, and it's just effortless. It feels like DeMar's not trying when he's playing basketball.
And the thing that I've always brought up, well, not always, but lately I've brought up about DeMar is is a fall off coming? And really looking at DeMar, looking at the way he plays basketball now, it seems like DeMar would be able to play this type of basketball at a high level for the next 5 years. And is DeMar going to play until he's almost 40? Is that what we're going to see? Is DeMar playing until he's 38, 39 years old?
Here's the thing. He could, right? Because you think about it, what have we talked about, right? And we've talked about, if he's able to take this step back, if he's able to change this, if he's able to move here. DeMar taking a step back was a facilitating, better defensive, better at finding guys open, better at attacking and picking specific
and not needing to do as much because more people step up as well.
Yeah. But even you think about him in San Antonio, DeMar was almost getting triple doubles.
Yeah.
And it's mind blowing to think that on a San Antonio team that was kind of middling most of the time he was there, but DeMar was a completely different player than what we saw in Chicago last season. So I view his game and I'm like, bro, he definitely has the kind of game that if one day he's just I think I'm gonna stop being as much of a shooter. I want to average 15 points a game, but I don't want to lead the league. So I'm going to just be this dude that facilitates. He could change his whole game.
I mean, you're right. You're right. And so, you always worry, let me not say worry, but you always wonder when a fall off for a player is going to come, right? And you always want to be ahead of that, meaning that you want to be out of a contract before a player gets a chance to fall off. Right. And I've always said DeMar signing a 3-year contract. By the end of this contract, he's going to be 34, almost 35 years old. And with that being said, it's okay, do you really want to re-up him at that age? But I look at it like this. Hopefully Dalen Terry stepped up. Hopefully Patrick Williams, all these players have continually grown to where, we do re-sign DeMar DeRozan. And then, his role, maybe DeMar at that point, instead of being the 28 point per game scorer, he's more like a 15, 16 point per game scorer, but he's giving you 6, 7 rebounds and 7 assists per game. And at that point, it's all right, listen. We still in there. It is effortless. And it's so, not that many players age gracefully like DeMar has. It's rare. But we're seeing players play longer. That happens a lot. But I think, like, when you look at, for example, I know people are going to not like this comparison, but me and you both watch the WNBA. Players in the WNBA play till they're almost 40. We could very well see.
What? We want Sloot to get a major contract. How old is she?
I
was like, Sky, resign Sloot for the next 5 years. I think she's what? 36, 37?
She has to be something like that. I'm gonna look it up what she is. But while we're doing, like, I definitely think that, you know, DeMar can. She's 33 years old. So
man, I be getting ages so wrong,
bro. Yeah. You do be off on the ages, but yeah,
I be making people ancient, bro. I be like, what is he, 70? Yeah, he's 22.
Bro, that's what I was doing to Andre Drummond, but that's a story for another day. But no, I really do think, and then especially if you have DeMar. Yeah, continuing to be the mentor that he is, those type of things, it's going to be worth it. Like, and let's talk about that as we end this first segment. Do you think DeMar does get another contract with the Chicago Bulls?
I don't think it'll be what he's getting. Actually, I can't say that. DeMar's grossly underpaid for what he provides.
And keep in mind too, new TV contract by the time DeMar's deal's up. So even if he did stay the same, it's going to be considerably less portion of the cap at that point.
I think it depends on his game, right? I mean, listen, It's not like we're in a league where you're not seeing older players getting massive contracts. Mm-hmm. Chris Paul got a massive contract. If DeMar's playing at that level, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chicago Bulls re-up DeMar. Also, it depends on where the Bulls are, right? It depends on if we're winning. It depends on if we're getting the ECFs. It depends on if we're getting the NBA Finals, right? Like, those things all factor in, right? Like, Chris Paul gets a 2-year, what was it, two-year, $80 million deal, something like that. He made the NBA Finals his first year there. Like, I wasn't surprised in the slightest that he re-upped on a 2-year, $80 million deal. But I think it all depends on what the circumstances around it are. I don't think you can just be a middling team and the Bulls are going to make that move.
Did you know? Because I was just looking up about DeMar. So DeMar DeRozan was in the top 30 of the league of assists per game last season, which makes sense. There's a Bull player above him that's actually in the top 20. Do you know who that is off the top of your head?
Just an assist last season.
Nikola
Vucevic.
Zach LaVine is the top 20 assist guy. That is super. Like, that is super surprising
because Zach's a really good passer. It surprised me because I didn't think he played enough games.
Well, that too. Like, well, not number of assists, but assists per game. So not the overall number of assists
per game. Okay, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. So, like, that was surprising to me. But you know, DeMar's game really, and the thing about it is, I think that DeMar does get another contract with the Bulls because at that point, DeMar may look at it and say, listen, there's a whole bunch of young people here on the Chicago Bulls team that are going to carry my legacy. I really want a title before I leave. Yeah. And if the Bulls aren't close enough, I could see him maybe going after that. But then when we heard about him this summer of saying hell no to joining the Warriors, he may want to stay here and cultivate and see this through of what he does. And maybe DeMar is a Chicago Bull by the. How many seasons would it have to take for DeMar to be in a Bulls uniform for you to rank him above amongst some of the best Bulls of all time?
One more contract.
That's fair.
Contract. I mean, listen, here's the thing about Bulls history, right? He's already one of the best Bulls to play in a Chicago Bulls jersey, because we've had some down years.
Some.
Down
decade.
I'm being generous. Hey, let's do it. We're not going down PTSD route. So he's already ranked in there, but like to talk about somebody as a Chicago Bull, right? You're thinking 5-6 years in that jersey. Like Zach LaVine's career will end as he'll always be a Chicago Bull. Especially re-upping on this deal. Mm-hmm. Joakim Noah will always be a Chicago Bull. He played with other teams. Derrick Rose, I mean, that's a different situation, but he's also from here. I think if DeMar plays out one contract here and re-ups, we'll view him as one of the best Chicago Bulls of all time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. That's tough to say, too, because, right, what do you put him as? Is he a guard?
I mean, you got to put him at whatever position he plays for us.
So he's going to be one of the best small forwards in Chicago Bull history? That feels weird. Because he's one of the best shooting guards in Toronto Raptor history.
True, but I mean, when you look at it, and also that list that I looked at with Zach LaVine being in the top 20 of assists, that was just in the playoffs. So correct myself. Okay. Got to correct myself on that. When I pulled up the playoff stats, I thought I was looking at the regular season stats. All right. Don't worry about it. It's all right. It happens. Listen,
it's much lower now when you think about it.
It's much lower now. Yes. But with that being said,
here's a question before we switch. Before we switch. Does DeMar take on the role like Kobe had where he's teaching the game to all these guys, and he's the next guy like that. Like multi-team guys are like, no, I was working with DeMar. Like how Jason Tatum viewed working with Kobe.
I don't know. Because we haven't really heard of anybody that's not a Bull working with DeMar.
Yeah.
So, and Kobe was that even before Kobe was old. Like DeMar's now doing that, like technically being old basketball terms, not old life terms.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we see that. I could see it going there. I could see maybe players do request working out. Ask DeMar, hey, can I come do those 4 a.m. workouts with you for a week or something, seeing what he's done to Io. And if I'm telling you, if Patrick Williams comes out busting this season early on, I wouldn't be surprised if some players reach out to DeMar, but hey, man, can I work out with you this summer?
Hey, it's so hard not to get excited by that handle we saw, bro. Yeah. Hey, and whoever tweeted me, 95% of that with his left hand. I was like, oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't peep that.
That's crazy, fam. That is wild. But all right. Let's go ahead. We're gonna get into the next topic, which we'll talk about Dalen Terry playing in a Pro-Am game. But before we do that, got to talk to you guys about Built Bar. Have you tried Built Bar Puffs yet? If you haven't, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Are you ready for it? Delicious, indulgent cookie dough. Covered in chocolate. That's right. Built has done it again. Let me introduce you to your new favorite, cookie dough chunk puffs. They have a light and chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% real chocolate. All of the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it. Plus, it's healthy for you. Cookie dough chunk puffs are only 160 calories, and they have a whopping 15 grams of protein in them. Run to Built.com to snack a box for you and the family. It'll be the perfect treat, or you can find a really good hiding spot and hoard them just for yourself. Like all Built Bars, the new cookie dough chunk puffs are covered in 100% real chocolate. That means they're healthy and tasty. Chocolate-covered cookie dough with a light, fluffy texture. It's so good. What's great about Built is that all their bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. Eat something that tastes good and is good for you. You're going to love the new cookie dough chunk puffs, whether you need a snack for your workout, a late night treat, or just need to grab a quick bite. Built is the perfect protein bar, and they taste better than a candy bar. Ditch the calories, fat, and sugar. Grab yourself a Built Bar. Go to Built.com and use the promo code LOCK15 to get 15% off your order. That's promo code LOCK15 at Built.com. All right, listen. So Dalen Terry, first off, let's go ahead and say, for those that are overrating this now, thinking, oh, Dalen Terry's gonna come in and he's gonna be, it's not happening. Like let's put this in perspective. The thing that I take away personally from Dalen Terry's game and him putting up a 50-piece in any type of Pro-Am is the fact that he's going to fill the stat sheet. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to get double-digit points, but he's going to be one of those players, I think, in his rookie season, if he's given and earns the minutes, that could give you 8 points per game, 4 or 5 assists, 4 or 5 rebounds, a steal per game, something like that is what I see when I look at Dalen Terry. And also, that boy gets up and down the floor, fam. Like, he keeps his head up at all times. He gets up and down the floor. What did you take out of this Pro-Am game, brother?
Here's what I'll say. When Dalen Terry was drafted, still kind of feel this way. I didn't expect him to be a scorer for us. Mm-hmm. But since the offseason has started, since Summer League has started, things like that, it seems like he's focusing a lot more on scoring. Now, this Pro-Am game is an anomaly, right? But a lot of the things that we've seen of Dalen Terry doing this offseason have been on the scoring side of the ball, working on finishing through contact and things like that. Maybe, and it's a maybe, but maybe this is AK already making the decision on who he wants the scorer to be for the Chicago Bulls off the bench. And if you get to the point where Kobe White kind of just writes his own will out of here, you might see Dalen Terry playing a little bit more than we all thought he was going to play, me included. I don't think he's going to get a ton of minutes. I really don't want to see him get a ton of minutes, because what I want to see is Kobe White look the Chicago Bulls in the face and say, no, I'm one of the best scorers on this team.
Yeah, I don't know if I've said it too. Like, I agree with you. I don't see Dalen Terry playing a lot of minutes this season, but I always compare it and have to hold myself accountable. I said the same thing about Io DeSumo. Yeah. And that's why I did ask the question to you a couple episodes ago. Like, could the Rook, if Kobe is still inconsistent, take those minutes, take some minutes away from Kobe, because he is at least on paper, he's going to be a better defender, right? He's going to get up and down the court more. Even now, I would say that Dalen Terry, from what I've seen, probably has a better dribble than Kobe White as well. Like, so
he actually got a handle.
Yeah, so it's like, are we seeing them? Maybe we do see the season start off and it's like, hey, listen, Kobe, we're going to use you as more of a specialist, and maybe that, I don't know, bro. I really don't. I like I said, I can't call it. I don't know how this coaching staff is going to work out. That rotation is going to be one of the more interesting things, is exactly how that rotation with the bench comes, because they didn't go out and get somebody who's like a true 4 like I thought they would. They did get a 5, but like, so it's, I don't know, bro. And then at that point too, like, because we heard about Javonte also saying he wanted to be a more consistent 3-point shooter.
If he's knocking down that shot more consistently and giving defense, you're not going to see Kobe White on the floor.
That's what I was just about to say.
You're not. And I don't know if that's the case. Again, I don't want that to be the case. I want Kobe to prove that he was the 7th pick in the draft for a reason. But here's the thing. Billy Donovan wasn't in that room to pick Kobe White.
This is true.
Arturas Karnisovas wasn't in that room to pick Kobe White. And we know, listen, we can hope and pray and want all we want.
Yeah.
We know how NBA sports teams work. They want their guys in there. They want their players in there. They want their, like, of course, right, nobody's going to move off of Zach LaVine. But the rest of this team, is their guy.
Zach and Kobe, Zach and Kobe are the only 2 left.
That's it.
And the thing is, too, is like I said, it would be different if Kobe, like they gave Kobe a chance, like, right? Because they saw, hey, we don't have scoring on this bench.
Yeah.
Who do we have that could give that role? We got Kobe White.
Yeah.
And we saw him, like, he almost wasn't even brought along slowly. Kobe came back from injury and was getting almost 20 minutes per game. Like, so it may get to that. And the fact that they have tried to assess his trade value, the trade value isn't going to go up if he's not playing well. So at that point, you really don't have any need to play him if he's still not being consistent. Yeah. It's going to be really interesting. And I know you said before you don't necessarily see Javonte getting a lot of minutes, but
I don't.
If he is knocking down the 3 at a better rate with the defense, right now everything's opening out there. So
I think the question comes in, and it'll be in our next topic more, but it comes in, how hot does Goran Dragic start the season? I think early in the season they'll throw him out there because of what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's going to be a ton either, right? I think both of us have said about 10, 15 minutes a game, but he's a veteran. He's going to garner some respect around there. I think him and DeMar have squashed the beef, hopefully, or they're going to throw hands as soon as they see each other. That'd be great. But very Chicago of us. But I think that's something where there's a fight for minutes at the guard position on this team.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not showing enough, there's somebody there that can take your place, that can at a minimum do something. Goran Dragic ain't going to be a great defender.
Yeah.
But he's probably going to be able to score the basketball a little bit. Javonte Green ain't going to be a great offensive juggernaut. But he's going to be able to defend anybody you put on that court across from him.
And a lot of this, too, let's be clear here, a lot of this also depends on if Lonzo's back. Because if Lonzo's back and providing a lot of that shooting and getting out in transition, you almost want more of a Javonte Green or Dalen Terry out there with him. Keep in mind, too, Kobe does not fit AK's prototype because his wingspan is shorter than his height. So, like,
he's literally the opposite of everything AK wants.
That's what I'm saying.
He's literally the opposite of everything AK is going out there. Got short arms, tall. Kind of. I don't know. Are we for real on 6'5" on Kobe?
No, I think Kobe's more like 6'6". Honestly, I think he's more
really.
Like
you think he's taller?
I think he's taller.
I thought the hair made him 6'5".
I mean, maybe that's what it is.
When I see Kobe next to Zach, I feel like Kobe's shorter.
I mean, now I'm finna go analyze. You know me. Once you give me something that my brain is like, no, now I gotta figure it out.
Kobe standing next to Zach, he's definitely been shorter. Maybe it's because he's smaller, but I mean, to kind of put a bow on everything and bring it all back around, right? Like, where do you see? Like, let's say it is Kobe White being the same player.
Kobe White is definitely shorter than Zach LaVine.
I'm just saying.
I just Googled it and, like, you know how, like, it brings up like 10 images all together. Nothing of them side by. There's one picture out of all these that I've seen that looks like Kobe may be the same height as Zach.
They measure to the top of the fro for sure.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when you look at, say, Kobe is the same inconsistent player that he was last season.
Yeah.
where's Dalen fit in the equation of getting minutes? Is he next up? Is he second on the list, third on the list, right? How many people does he have to fight through to get minutes on the court? And I think that's kind of going to be the assessment of where we see him playing this year.
I agree. Kobe for sure. Javonte probably. Derrick Jones Jr., but I'm not going to put because they used him primarily as the backup center, so I'm just going to say they're going to use him as the 4 because he's not going to jump ahead of Hayo. He's not going to jump ahead of Caruso. So I'm looking at Kobe would have to play bad, and he would have to be better offensively than Javonte Green to get heavy minutes on this team.
So you got him kind of like third in the lineup.
I do. I mean, this is why I just don't expect Dalen to get a lot of minutes in this room.
Yeah.
But I've been wrong. I was wrong on Ayo, so I could be wrong.
I think the difference with Ayo is like he was our next point guard. Like, because Ayo wasn't starting at point initially anyway. Caruso got the start at point, and then Caruso got hurt.
No, what?
Did Ayo come straight in? I feel like
by time Lonzo. I feel like once Lonzo went down, it was Ayo who got inserted right away.
Got hurt. Caruso got sick first.
Oh, there you go. That is what it was.
Caruso got sick first, and then he got sick, had an injury, came back for 2 games, got hurt again. Right? Yeah. Ain't that how the season went?
I think
for
that's
Caruso?
how it went. I think
something like that. And Lonzo was playing because Lonzo was the only one left for a minute.
yeah, he was the last one standing. But yeah. So we'll see what happens with Dalen Terry, and how that ends up working out on what minutes he's able to get and who jumps ahead of. But I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the season, Kobe's riding that pine. That's all I'm going to say with that one. We're just going to leave it at that. Pause. With that being said,
throw a flag on the play.
All right, time to go into the last topic, man. It's been 2 years since Jim Boylen was fired, brother.
Hey, y'all had that tweet going up.
You know what's funny too? Like, and this isn't even as a plug thing. Like, so apparently I started Chicago Bulls Central on the 1-year anniversary of Jim Boylen being fired.
I never thought about that.
And I didn't even plan it. Like, I was so moved a year after Jim Boylen had not been our head coach anymore that I started the Charter Show.
That just clicked with me. I never thought about that, bro. That's hilarious.
Oh man, so
that's good.
I'm always gonna be tied with Jim Boylen, bro. That's hilarious, man.
That you poor bastard. 2 years since Boylen been here, man. I mean, listen. How'd you? Let's go back to the day, right? This is tough because we're literally eviscerating a man's career, but I don't feel bad for it because of how he got his job. If y'all don't know,
him and Tanaka, I'm glad they both gone.
Yeah, he literally got his job by crying to management about how bad a job Fred Hoiberg was doing while Fred had him on his staff.
And then came back and did a worse job than Fred Hoiberg.
Fred Hoiberg was 500. So,
and also Fred Hoiberg was never given the team he was promised. You know, younger and more athletic.
At all, bro. So, we're going to get a team that's younger, athletic, and can shoot. First off season, who we going to get? Let's get Dwayne Wade. Let's get Jimmy Butler. Let's get Rajon Rondo. All right.
And then after that, when that didn't work, who we bringing now? We got you, Jabari Parker.
Jabari Parker, Paul Zipser. Paul Zipser's name has been mentioned more on this podcast than anybody in the history. Him and Cristiano Felicio. Nah, I mean, hey, listen, it's a good day, man. How'd you feel 2 years ago today? How was your feeling when I believe we woke up to the news, if I'm not mistaken, that Jim Boylen had been fired?
Bro. When Jim Boylen finally, because remember there were the rumors that the ownership was trying to convince Acme to keep on Jim Boylen. I was like, man, they're gonna end up keeping him. And then he did that interview afterwards where it sounded like he was confident he was coming back to him. Like, they really gonna bring this dude back. Yeah. I kid you not. If I had the show, I would have definitely went live. When I saw and got the alert that Jim Boylen had been fired, I did the Tiger Woods fist pump. Like, legit. I was wherever, I don't remember where, but bro, I literally did that because I was so happy, bro. Because he was just so bad, fam. Yeah, he was bad, bro.
Yeah, I had my channel. Y'all can go see my video. it popped up today. That's how I remembered it. And so I literally, first off, I think I was fresh from the Dominican Republic because I was very tan. And apparently I'd been wearing sunglasses. So I was looking bright, but I was in that mug hype. I think I screamed at the camera. Pretty sure I almost flipped some stuff over. And the first words that I say in the video after that, because I think Billy Donovan got fired right around that same time, was do not go get Billy Donovan.
Really? Is that what you said? That's hilarious, bro.
I think I dropped a couple of videos that day. One of the videos was definitely why the Chicago Bulls should not hire Billy Donovan.
I'm gonna go watch that video as soon as we're done recording.
I'll send it to you. I gotta find it again, but yeah, it's definitely on there. Why the Chicago Bulls should not hire Billy Donovan. And here's the thing: all the reasons I said still kind of valid, but he's here now. So shout out to Billy. We love having you in the building, man. Glad you're here. Glad you're our head coach. We love the competency,
bro. Where does Jim Boylan rank for you as all-time worst Chicago sports?
Right above Tim Floyd. Tim Floyd's all-time worst because I think that team was actually.
So you got Tim Floyd, Boylan, and then is Nagy next on that list? Who's
we talk about all-time
all
Chicago coaches
sports
in history.
Yes.
Oh, dog. Boylan might not even scratch it, bro. I mean, honestly, the White Sox have had some awful managers. The Cubs too.
See, I was talking about professional teams. You know
Well, hey, I got my World Series.
No, I feel that, but no. There have been some very bad coaches
in Chicago history. I might have to think deeper on that. We might have to come back next episode. But Tim Floyd's definitely. You know what? Boylan's probably on there. Tim Floyd's definitely on there for me. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Robin Ventura is on there for me. He was a god-awful manager of the White Sox.
Yes, yeah.
And that hurt my soul because he was one of my favorite players.
Let me flip this on you. Who's one of the most underrated coaches? We'll just do Chicago Bulls history. I got mine off. I'll give mine. I think people don't really realize the good job that Vinny Del Negro did in his time as a head coach. I think Vinny Del Negro was was not great. He would have never taken the Bulls to where Tibbs ended up taking them, even with that same team. But when you look at like Vinny Del Negro, how he was here when Rose was rookie. He really Joakim Noah blossomed under him and turned into a really good player.
That's true.
I think that Del Negro was one of those coaches that he helped teach the guys how to prepare for NBA basketball, but he was never going to be the guy to really help them get to the next level or even win a playoff series. But I really do think Vinny Del Negro did a pretty good job on this team when you looked at like came in after Scott Skiles, things like that. And I don't think that he did a bad job.
I was gonna say Thibs, but I guess if you put it in that terms, right? Thibs was like the highest recruited assistant coach, off of a bench. So I guess I can't put it that. Del Negro's not bad. You know what? There's not enough. As many bad coaches there are in the NBA. I'm surprised Vinny's not coaching anymore. Like he was always a 500 coach. He was never great, but I'm surprised Vinny's not coaching no more.
And then he was the coach of the Lob City Clippers, right? Was he the coach of that team the whole time?
I think he was there.
He left before then?
Before CP3 got there, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
I think when CP3 got there, they were like, Vinny, you got to go.
Okay.
But I would say, here's one that I always give, and I don't know if we view him as underrated or not, but Doug Collins. For the career that Doug Collins went on to have, outside of having Michael Jordan and never really having that dominant, crazy, great player again, he was a heck of a head coach.
Oh, yeah, Doug Collins for sure.
Doug Collins was a heck of a head coach. So I always looked at him and was like, you got to give him credit for coming up with the original scheme that really is the basis of the triangle offense. Everybody get the heck out the way and get a ball to Michael. Let's be real. The triangle doesn't work unless you got your Michael. So that was the basis of that.
Okay.
Shout out to Dougie Collins, man.
Doug Collins. Shout out to him there. No, and I just looked it up. Vinny Del Negro did coach the Lob City Clippers for 2 seasons. He had Chris Paul for 2 seasons.
He had Chris Paul for 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
500 teams. Where were they at?
They were. Let's see. Let me go back.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
They actually won a playoff series with Vinny Del Negro being there. So they were 40-26. So that must have been the lockout year.
Right. Not bad.
And then the year after that, they were 56-26.
Hey, yo, why Vinny Del Negro ain't coaching no more?
Bro, Vinny Del Negro absolutely should have a coaching
He's got
spot.
a good record.
Yeah, like
he was 500 both years here with us.
That's crazy, bro.
He's got a winning record as a head coach in the NBA. How's he not coaching no more? I will say this, though. He's got, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's gotten into fights with both front offices.
This is very true.
Like
he physically
fights.
got into a physical fight with, it was Paxson, right?
Yeah.
It was Paxson, yeah.
He said he grabbed that man by the tie and pulled him down. This is the thing they always say, right? They say he grabbed Pax by the tie and pulled him.
Yeah.
Pax is known to be willing to throw hands. So were hands thrown in the Del Negro Paxson exchange?
Come on. And he's Italian. Like, come on. Like, I like how they try to paint it. I guarantee you, Vinny Del Negro did not just allow his tie to be pulled and just be like, oh, you know what? You got me.
Bro, yeah, I mean, like, you know, Del Negro probably goes in for the pull. Pax was probably like, let me use this momentum to my advantage.
Vinny Del Negro has a career coaching record of, so he coached 394 games. He won 210 of those games and only lost 184. Vinny Del Negro should be a coach.
He should be a head coach in the NBA. There's worse. There's worse in the NBA right now.
That's wild, bro.
It's got to be the front office stuff. I don't know if I feel like I remember a story of him getting into it with the Clippers front office, but I don't remember that per se. So I don't know. Also, I think Vinny might coincide with the whole. No, Doc, I think, was there at that point. The whole, I was going to say what's buddy name? Not Steve Ballmer. That's who owned it now. Donald Sterling.
That would have been the Donald Sterling.
Was that Vinny? Was he after that?
I think he still would have been, no. I think he would have still been the head coach then.
So they probably moved on as an organization at that point too.
Well, so he was outed because Chris Paul basically. Well, it was rumored that Chris Paul was a free agent the same year that they did not renew Del Negro's contract. That Chris Paul was probably like, "Listen, I'm coming back. I'll come back, but that dude cannot be our coach anymore."
Okay, all right, that'll do it.
But yeah, I mean, shout out to Vinny Del Negro.
Get back in the league, Vinny.
Yeah, come on, somebody give Vinny a job, bro. Who gets back in the league first, Vinny or Mark Jackson?
Vinny. Mark Jackson. I have a full vid. Now that video is definitely on the breeze. Go check that out. All the reasons why Mark Jackson will never be a head coach in the NBA again. And I stand by every one of those because none of them is my opinion. It's what his players have said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long list. It's a long list there, brother. But that is it from us for today. Unless you got anything left, Pat.
Vinny Del Negro looks like Ray Romano in his playing days.
That is actual fact. That is 100% fact.
All right, let's get up out of here, man. Follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. You can also follow us both on everything at Locked On Bulls. The Twitter has been blowing up, so shout out to you guys for showing love over on the Twitter, man. And follow us on the Instagram as well.
Absolutely. You can follow me at CEO Haize, at CEO Haize. And thank you for making Locked On Bulls your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, go and check on Locked On NBA, where the Locked On experts break down all the latest news, rumors, and developments going on around the NBA in 30 minutes or less. They can be found wherever you get your podcast. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls, and we out this month. Peace, y'all.